Hello, I'm here to talk about our paper, The Substance of Style, How Social, Class-Based Styles of Interpersonal Interaction Shape Hiring Assessments at Large Technology Companies. This paper was written by Phoebe, Chua and myself, Melissa Mazmanian. We're both from the Department of Informatics at the University of California, Irvine. Now, elite companies, including large tech companies, have long expressed a desire to hire the most talented and capable applicants. The goal is to hire these applicants based on individual merit rather than socio-demographic background. And we can see companies attempting to minimize systemic biases through various efforts such as mandated unconscious bias training and the removal of applicants' names and genders from resumes. However, certain biases are especially tricky to address. An example of such bias is social class bias. Social class bias is especially pernicious because it isn't tracked. Social class background is not protected under employment discrimination laws, and as a result, companies and the EEOC just don't collect data on employees' social class background. This makes it more difficult for companies to recognize and address any social class disparities in hiring. However, social class background substantially affects life opportunities and job prospects. It's an axis of domination in which upper middle class environments reproduce power structures that marginalize working and middle class individuals. This paper explores the following three research questions. First, to what extent do evaluators display an awareness of the role that social class background might play in hiring? Second, regardless of displayed awareness, what are evaluators' current ways of assessing applicants? And third, do current ways of assessing applicants create hidden advantages for upper middle class applicants? We're going to focus on questions 2 and 3 here. So to address our questions, we interviewed 50 evaluators. All of them were full-time CS researchers or software engineers in large tech companies. In fact, they were all in the top 7 in terms of market capitalization in the United States. All participants were in the position where they interviewed PhD-level internship applicants and made final hiring decisions. During our interviews, we asked evaluators how they assessed applicants and how they thought applicants' experience or environment or background affected their ability to display desired hiring traits. And we observed whether evaluators voluntarily discussed the role of social class in hiring, and if they did not bring it up on their own, we asked direct questions about it at the end of the interview. Across the board, evaluators emphasized the key hiring criterion of, quote, innovation potential. This is a local term that we found shared across all of our participants. They explained that their companies rate job performance of current CS interns and full-time employees based on their ability to make innovative contributions. As Roy says, we provide innovation. If you publish an academic paper and or get running code in production, you've done great. So, we find that evaluators often interpret applicants' comfort with expressing themselves during these power-laden exchanges of interviews as signs of having this elusive trait of innovation potential. Specifically, evaluators reported prioritizing applicants who demonstrate what we have come to call a transboundary interaction style. This style involves displaying an ease with first artfully rearranging disciplinary boundaries or communicating how insights from different disciplines might inform their work. It also involves artfully rearranging role boundaries, that is, facilitating back and forth conversations about the potential project for the internship. And it involves artfully rearranging power boundaries, that is, standing up for one's opinions by voicing disagreement. In the interest of time, this presentation is really going to focus on the role boundary and how evaluators associated back and forth conversation with a trait of being innovative, and then how this element is often socialized in upper middle class upbringing and education. So according to evaluators, demonstrating innovation potential involves displaying one's ability to be dynamic. So you can see here as Lance discusses what he's looking for in an ideal intern candidate. He likes people who can respond on the fly, banter back and forth, that he's looking for a collaborator. Similarly, Carol stresses the need for applicants to contribute to a conversation actively. She wants people to be proactive. She wants them to have an equal exchange in their back and forth, and she sees this as a result of somebody being naturally curious. Evaluators largely took applicants' comfort levels with fostering this equal exchange of ideas, and during interviews, and they saw this as an indicator of individual personality trait that contributed to these innovative endeavor of the workplace. And then this makes Carol more interested in what the person has to say. Okay, so our findings are really interesting, and they're particularly troubling because no one in our study, none of the evaluators, articulated the ties between social class and these preferred interaction styles. However, past scholarship in sociology paints a very strong picture that upper middle class individuals are often socialized in schools and in other institutions to treat authority figures as equal conversation partners, and therefore to learn how to facilitate this back and forth conversation style. So returning to our empirical findings, we argue that evaluators' assessments of how comfortable applicants feel or seem with facilitating witty exchange and back and forth conversation actually privileges those with certain upper middle class interaction styles. And in our paper, we actually go much deeper and explain how the other two elements of the transboundary interaction style also has ties to these upper middle class practices. So our paper contributes to HCI literature in this way. Past literature has revealed that evaluators' assessments often favor applicants with upper middle class tastes, kind of what you like and your extracurricular interests, and resources, where you went to school, referrals, and insider knowledge. We expand these insights by showing that evaluators' assessments also prioritize applicants who demonstrate this certain interaction style. And further, while evaluators believe that they are assessing applicants' core personality traits as displayed through the interaction style, we suggest that these desired styles are actually cultivated in a result of certain kinds of backgrounds that stem from upper middle class contexts. So implications for evaluators are basically suggesting that evaluators should explore other ways of assessing applicants that don't rely on these high-stakes, power-laden, face-to-face interactions. Potentially, before interviews, they could provide an overview of a potential internship project and questions. They could ask people to submit a written reflection or something like that. That said, of course, we need to take into account how new practices might affect different applicants from all different backgrounds and avoid unintentionally imposing additional burdens on one particular group over another. So our future research, we suggest that scholars should look at how the interplay between applicants' personalities and social class influence their experiences, how the intersectional roles of social class and gender and race shape the hiring process. And altogether, we would like to say thank you for your attention, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions or you would like to chat with us.